Cypress, Katy, Spring, and Pearland. It's time to get warmed up for the regional round of playoffs and some of the biggest showdowns of 2019. We hope everyone has had a chance to enjoy a wonderful Thanksgiving meal today, but hopefully you aren't too full because there's an absolute feast of football on the table tomorrow. Let's start with the appetizer, the veggie tray that you just can't seem to walk away from. Well, that gets served at noon as Manville meets Barbers Hill at NRG Stadium. The Mavs are a perfect 12-0 and averaging 52 points a game this season. Manville has steamrolled through the first two rounds of the playoffs, winning by 35 and 28 points. Barbers Hill is 11-1 and riding a 10-game winning streak. The Eagles have also coasted through the first two rounds with victories of 42 and 23 points each. Barbers Hill looks to avenge a 62-42 loss to Manville in the first round last year. Expect another track meet between these two explosive offenses tomorrow at noon. Following that one, it's time to get the big turkey out of the oven and settle in for the main course. Yep, Katy and North Shore meet in the playoffs for the fourth consecutive season, and you couldn't ask for a better holiday meal. North Shore ended Katy's season a year ago with a 49-38 win over the Tigers in the third round, en route to a state championship. Of course, Katy exacted a little revenge in the regular season opener this year, as the Tigers knocked off North Shore 24-21. That was back in August, however, and the Mustangs appear to be hitting their stride in the postseason. North Shore looked dominant in a 58-35 win over Pearland Dawson last week. But you know the Katy players and coaches have waited 12 months for this game, this chance to get past the Mustangs. What a game that will be, and NRG Stadium will certainly have plenty of energy Friday afternoon, unlike those of us suffering through a turkey coma. Oh, sorry, you know what you need right now? How about a great side dish? I'm thinking twice-baked potatoes. That's what Shadow Creek hopes to do to district rival Foster. 36 days after the Sharks defeated the Falcons, they'll look to do it again, with even more at stake this time around. Shadow Creek is 12-0 and has won 11 of those games by at least 28 points. The one close game, you guessed it, a 24-17 win over Foster. Though the Falcons only went 6-4 in the regular season, they've taken flight in the playoffs, following up a 31-21 win over previously unbeaten New Caney, with a 52-14 blowout victory against Georgetown. Look for the winner of this one to possibly make it all the way to AT&T Stadium and play for the state title. Now, don't worry, we haven't forgotten about the most important part of Thanksgiving: desserts. Since nobody can ever agree on their favorite desserts, we'll give you two options. If you're a traditional pumpkin pie fan, then Klein is definitely the way to go. The Tigers head up to Waco to take on Dallas Jesuit at Baylor's McLean Stadium on Friday night. How can you not love the Klein old school recipe of defense and ball control rushing attack? The Tigers used that formula last week to avenge their second round loss to Austin Vandergrift from a year ago. The Klein brand of football seems to go perfect with Thanksgiving, just like good old pumpkin pie. But what if you like to mix it up and stray away from the norm? How about cranberry upside down cake? Not bad, huh? That's what we're looking at 8 o'clock at NRG Stadium as Side Creek squares off with Strake Jesuit. Strake turned the 6A Division II bracket upside down last week with a shocking blowout of Beaumont Westbrook, who had reached the state championship game a year ago. The Crusaders have won 8 games in a row and are riding a wave of momentum. But Side Creek is capable of lighting up the scoreboard as well. And the Cougars are back in the third round for the second year in a row. Look for this one to be a fun and exciting nightcap. So don't fill up too much today, because the Thanksgiving feast is just beginning. And until the games kick off tomorrow, here's the extra point to hold you over. Friendswood and Ridgepoint both made the state tournament this past weekend. They both fell in the semifinals, but we wanted to take a moment to congratulate both teams, as well as congratulate Full Shear on winning the state championship for the 4A title. Chidozie Nwanko, Foster's defensive tackle, made his choice of college on Monday in a very interesting way, showing us what happens when you're being heavily recruited by schools. Better known as Choosy, will be attending the University of Houston. I guess his mom can chomp through that jungle of letters finally. That's all we have for this week's episode. To stay up to date with all things inside high school sports, follow our social accounts. We have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Those will keep you in the loop on everything happening around the greater Houston area and get you ready for your Saturday morning wake-up call with Chevrolet's Inside High School Sports on KHU11 at 8:30 a.m. hosted by Matt Musil. Thank you for watching The Warmup, presented by your local GEICO offices in Cypress, Katy Spring, and Pearland. To get more information or a quote, go to geico.com/Houston. I'm Ashley Bullington, and I hope the last few minutes have gotten you warmed up for all the major playoff showdowns.